Hi everyone, welcome. And today I want to discuss about what makes us optimal humans. At Future Strong Academy, anything that is related to personal productivity or personal growth are just something that I just feed off of. Because I feel like every one of us has an inherent potential that we can just tap into and just become unstoppable. So here are some tweets that I found which have laid out some very good biohacks as well as some very good brain hacks that will live us a very productive day, week, year life. That's what I can say. So again, I don't know these tweeters personally, but I am only going by this tweet. So let's go with this. These graphics summarize some of life's hardest lessons. Distractions fill the space we give them. Look at this, and I can't imagine a better visual than this. Our distraction addiction has gone exponentially through the roof, and it's just a sad state of affairs. We are here when we want to be there. We are there when we want to be here. So it's crazy. As you can see, the greatest smartphone has a screen this big, and look at the amount of distraction it's providing. So the next thing, empathy lifts you and the other person up. In the discussions of emotional intelligence, the first thing after self-awareness is empathy. Empathy is something that you put yourself in others' shoes to understand what the other person is going through. So that is essential for, just giving yourself a break as well as others a break, because you don't really know what their life has been like until now and how much hard they are trying to get to wherever they want to be. Repetition is the father of learning. So I keep thinking about this kind of a statement because in my childhood there was a lot of emphasis on rote learning, repetitive, but we don't understand how much the brain benefits from repetition. What they say is you embed that into your subconscious after a while, right? So you're not going in circles, you just need to see things differently. Okay, so the idea is, how does it get imprinted into your subconscious? Imagine if you were to always have to put the address of your home from your work every single day without it becoming a part of your subconscious. Imagine that, right? Like, so repetition, the power of repetition. Proficiency is just a pattern recognition. So what is it? You are able to connect the dots better as you keep doing the things over and over again and staying focused on the topics that interest you the most. And that is when you see and you correlate things that you have learned in the past to what you're doing now much better. And that is just pattern recognition. I completely agree with the statement. So, okay, before you first try and after you first try, the level of difficulty about anything. The goal isn't to grow fast, the goal is to grow forever. So, here also, we have discussed a lot about becoming a lifelong learner and also keep your momentum and your growth sustainable so that that process is repeatable for you. One day you just like run 10 miles and the next day you cannot even get out of bed. That is not a sustainable approach. So let's go here. Okay, so tomorrow is an illusion. The only thing between you and the future isn't time, it is action. That is, as cheesy as this quote might sound, this is so true. I personally think that hashtag better than yesterday is my mantra. Did I learn anything today? To upskill myself. That's how I look at it. Right? So yeah, this is also amazing. If you don't set your own priority list, someone else will. Please, we have talked about it so many times. Especially just think of email, right? Email is almost always somebody else's agenda for you. Think of yourself like this. If you let your email dictate your day, at the end of the day, you feel like, did I really accomplish anything that I wanted to do here? Right? So, I feel like I can steal all of his things and just post it here, but please go through his post. I'll put the link below. There is one more mental model that I found, which it's just fascinating. So PJ Milani, visual teacher. So I spent 20 hours distilling mental models into an easy to understand illustration. Here are top 10 of them to help you make better decisions. So again, this is a psychological brain hack kind of a thing where you understand how you can be efficient doing the same kind of work that you have been doing, but just getting better at it. Okay, so here is the first one, Pareto principle. So we have heard this. This is a very, very common application of our time that people talk about when it comes to speed and efficiency. Some of the things that give the maximum returns are usually 20% of what we do over and over again. The rest of the 80 mundane admin related tasks that we do don't really yield so much, especially for our bottom line, our our effectiveness when it comes to what our brand can make up of. Behind the scenes we have to do so many things, but the top 20% yield the 80% of the results. So that is a very famous one if you want to check out. Okay, Parkinson's law. So I love this because if you have an hour, it takes an hour. If you have a week, the same exact work can take a week. So there is something called strategic procrastination, right? Where you are trying to hold off on to the last minute to finish things because you know that somehow you will have to get done before that time frame. So there is something like that as well. Okay, so next, okay, Grice's razor. Address what the person you are speaking means instead of the literal meaning of what they have to say. So sometimes what we do is we get caught up in the words, we get caught up in the language and the semantics. We're like, hey, how did he say this? Why did he say this? What does he mean? We start taking things personally and we don't look at the larger, bigger picture. And the most important thing, he's trying to say is the underlying message of it is lost, especially when we start rehearsing the response that we want to give to the person based on what we think he said. So that is something that is a good one. Again, Hofstadter's law. It always takes longer than you expect, even when you take into account Hofstadter's law. So, this is what I like, especially in the world of project management. You just overestimate what you can do in a day, in a week, in a month, and all that. But usually, we don't consider a lot of things that are not under our control. There's so many deliverables that we have to handle from a lot of third parties along with the work that we are assigned to deliver, right? So Hofstadter's law. So so look at this. So worst case plus Hofstadter's law and the actual time it takes. It literally explodes like any expectations of timelines that we have, set ourselves up to. So again, I don't want to just show you the whole thing, but this is something that is very, very I personally use a lot of these steps in my own daily life because if I want to generate massive content and also try to stay relevant with what is happening and what the needs of my personal and productive growth are, I really have to slice and dice and be as efficient as possible. We are also talking about this at Future Strong Academy. And I want to show you a few things that I have been writing, the subtle art of biomimicking for optimal health, mindfulness, and wellness. I really cannot overstate the importance of mindfulness when it comes to productivity. Because what we do is we usually are catastrophizing a lot of things that are happening in our lives. We tend to worry so much that we are not in the current moment at any given point of time. So mindfulness. Again, there is a difference between nostalgia and between anxiety of what the future unfolds. There can be nostalgia and there can be hope for the future, but there is always a middle ground right here, right now, where you can be the best version of yourself. So check this out. And again, yes, I absolutely love some concepts in Hinduism which show us scientifically through some sacred texts what they say about how to live an optimal life. So again, let's check this out. There is something, when you come to a fork where you have to decide which way you have to go. Let us say your friend wants to get you into some business and you're not sure whether that fits your unique proposition as a human being. Is that something that you would like to do, or is it just to make a little bit more money or get some kind of fame or something surrounding it, right? The point is, if you have great character strength, you know what your values are, what your belief system is, what you stand for, and that makes decision process very, very easy. And it cuts down a lot of noise because we can make quick decisions. We can just move on if that is something you would like to do, get into business with your friend, or it does not fit your value system, you're out. There's no need of rumination, there's no need of overthinking, you just be good. So again, asteya, non-stealing, and indriya nigraha, which is this control over our senses. How can we do that? So there are some amazing concepts here. Please check them out. Again, I had Miss Lacey Martin write an article for us, how to find optimal wellness through consistent self improvement. Again, this article is more on the physical optimization of your well being so that you can elevate yourself to the next level. So, this is a guest blog. So, please, again, look at your how do you thrive? How do you not just survive? How do you thrive? Again, maintaining a good environment, how to adopt healthier cleaning. What do you do to keep yourself in check? Everything. Again, revamp your wardrobe. If you're not feeling it, if I'm not confident in this outfit, I will be thinking about, do I look presentable? Am I good? All those, cut all that noise out. How do you elevate yourself to the next level, right? Okay, good luck. Thank you.